I'm David McNabb, and I've been a police officer for a little over 29 years. First responders tend to be a unique sort of personality, and it might be hard for them to open up and talk to other people. We go to scenes where there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of emotional upset, and we really don't know or expect that, we don't understand how that's going to affect us later on. It's one of the last things we deal with. We've just always been the people that show up and we fix problems. In our head, we're not supposed to have problems ourselves. And we don't expect the emotional reaction to set in a few days later, and yet it does.
Most of my clients are actually men who are processing trauma, and many of them are military or first responders or veterans who serve the country.
We see ourselves as needing to be the strong ones, needing to be the ones that people lean on. So it's hard to open up to another person and maybe lean on another person. That would take a lot of time, and having a horse involved, it happens without you realizing it. You let your guard down and then realize at the end of it what's happened. You didn't see it coming. I came to the main intent, it was almost by accident. I didn't know what to expect. I just love animals, so I thought what a great experience this would be. I had no idea what it was going to turn into.
I think that's the beauty of it, is that when you let go of your expectations and you are open to the experience, that's really when the magic happens. We really offer people an opportunity to reconnect with themselves, the individual that resides in their heart, not necessarily in their head. And I think we live in a society where we very much operate in our head, and sometimes we forget that we all have a heart. And this work really gives you an opportunity to connect with your heart.
When I walked into the barn, I found that the horses, many of them were interested, some were just doing their own thing. And I thought it was going to be all about me picking a horse to work with, and I didn't realize the horse actually picked me. And I met Harry last of all, Prince Harry, and it was instant. It was amazing. He put his head on my shoulder, kind of almost pulled me in closer, and like he wanted to whisper something, and then we stood like that for a few minutes, and I thought, this is definitely the horse I need to work with today.
The element of self-awareness really occurs in a moment where you have a connection with a particular horse, and that connection is often a surprise to people, and it's that element of surprise, and it's that moment of vulnerability where you go, oh my goodness, there's something to this, that the real learning occurs and the opportunity for development happens.
The most amazing thing that I got from Prince Harry was that he and I had a lot more in common than I realized. The first thing was to find out that he'd gone through cardiac arrhythmia, and his history being a racehorse, and then how that arrhythmia changed his life. That was so much me in a nutshell, because I kind of thought of myself that way. I could do almost anything before I had my own cardiac arrhythmia, and then that changed my life. Looking at Harry's life and how the situation affected him, he's moved forward, he's in a better place, it worked out well for him, and I just need to do the same thing. Maybe out of all the negativity, there's a lot of positivity too. The connection with Harry was eye-opening. It was shocking to me that out of all the horses, he would be the one I'd end up with. He'd be the one that picked me. What it taught me was that even when there was a big obstacle in front of you, it might seem like the biggest setback of all, but yet there's still a way forward. And for me, it showed that sometimes your purpose in life might not be exactly what you thought. There might be more beyond what you thought your initial purpose was.
Sometimes we forget that we're humans too, and many of those humans are heroes, but our heroes need help as well.
The fact that we had so much in common with our heart problem. And their jaw dropped.